everybody. Welcome back. My first guest, resident of Second Life in September 16, 2007, and she's been creating, selling content, and teaching in Second Life ever since. Now, her latest venture is Clutter for Builders with business partner Lida McKeenan. And Clutter for Builders produces full perm sculpt kits, mesh models, animations, poses, and textures for builders and designers. And not only that, Kat is also a motivational speaker in First Life. She's an author, and she is a campaign consultant, strategist, just all these wonderful things that I have come to enjoy in knowing her. So without any further ado, Kat, welcome to Spotlight TV.
Scorp, thank you so much for having me back. I am excited to be here in a brand new year and a brand new season.
Oh my goodness, where do we start, Kat? There's so much stuff going on out there in the world.
Indeed, there is. It's an exciting world. We've got so much going on. We're about to re-inaugurate President Obama, which is good news for the country. I'm excited about that. It's good news for Second Life, too.
Now, I happen to agree with you. And can you please tell us what you mean by it's good news for Second Life?
Well, it's that pesky right to free speech and the expansion of the internet, the continual improvements in technology that could be slowed down if other candidates had their way. There are factions of the radical right who would like to monitor more of what goes on in virtual worlds and also limit what we can do and how much access we have to these amazing worlds, as well as other online gaming situations.
I don't think we normally make that connection that something like the presidential election extends beyond our first life and can even have ripples that we feel here, right?
Yes, it can. And I'm not speaking about any candidates in particular, but we all know who the radical right candidates are, the extremists. It's important that we be able to have a rational dialogue online as well as in First Life. We should be able to speak freely and express our thoughts, and we should be able to do so in an intelligent manner without fear of being censored.
Yeah, it's amazing that you're saying that, because we're seeing right now that the thing that we need to move forward with anything in our country and our world is this sort of this willingness to get along, this willingness to compromise, to be sensible, and not be extreme really on anything, but moderate and open. And it seems like that's something that we're going to get if we, if we allow that. But there, like you said, there seems to be a strong faction that just is not really wanting to make those type of compromises.
There aren't, and it's affecting in Congress. It is affecting people's ability to govern, to compromise. That is what this country is about, and has always been about, is finding middle ground, finding a better way to do things. In Second Life, we are constantly striving here to find a better way to communicate with each other. When I started in World, there was no voice chat, and, technology has helped us get there. Linden Labs' hard work to get us there, the people who create the viewers for Linden Labs and the third-party viewers, they help us communicate. What we need to be doing, especially when we're having these political discussions, is communicate effectively. We need to communicate clearly. We need to communicate kindly and in a rational manner. Just like with all the drama that goes on in Second Life, there's drama that goes into politics. We need to find kind dialogue. We need to find kind words for each other and express ourselves clearly.
That's absolutely true. And, one of the things I think is that we need to expand our consciousness when we think about the possibilities of this medium. Because I think if you only see it as a game, which that's fine, but I think that it can limit some of the takeaways that can come with it that can actually make the first process beneficial.
Well, we need to understand that Second Life isn't a game. A game has an end goal. There's a definitive something you have to achieve when you're playing an actual game. Second Life is part of First Life. It is just another way to communicate and express ourselves. And everybody gets to make their own end objective here. Whether somebody's end objective is to, be the hottest avatar, that's all well and good. But we're all people behind the screen.
That's right.
We're all real people. We all have real feelings and real thoughts. And, again, this goes back to having rational dialogue. Keeping in mind that those are feeling people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, I'm going to throw the ball back into SL more because in the past, maybe some people don't know this, you captained the 2010 Relay for Life team, Independence, and you actually did the original SL Black Friday sale, the original Witch Hunt, and some of those things that I don't know if everybody knew you were involved with.
Well, yes, I did do those things. I'm very passionate about Relay for Life. My co-captain for Team Independence is here with us tonight. That is Michael A. Stackpole. We were able to take a freshman team to platinum level that year. It was a very rewarding experience. I believe I can speak for Mike in that regard. And, being involved with organizing events like the Witch Hunt and the original Black Friday sale is such a rewarding experience because I get to meet other very gifted designers, people who humble me with their talent. And I get to meet the other faces of SL, the people who come here and support us, come to events, support us with the, showing some Linden love and showing appreciation for content creators and artists, musical artists such as like Wolfie tonight, entertainers such as yourself. It's just a great thing, and I'm looking forward to doing more this year.
That's awesome. Can you please tell us about, before we go, about the Builder's Bargain Biweekly Sales Shop?
Oh, I'd love to tell you about it. Builder's Bargain was founded by Chippy Waffle. She's a texture creator here in Second Life. She had to step back a little bit and take care of some things in First Life. Builder's Bargains is a sale which is connecting builders and designers with the people who need these items. They need full perm thing. I think some people forget as they walk around Second Life that the world here is created by residents, builders, designers, everything we do. And Builders Bargains is trying to make it affordable for new builders and new designers to get content that they can put together so that we have nice things to res and nice things to wear. It's also trying to help boost the economy for the creators of full perm objects, sculpts, mesh models, textures, poses, animations, because creators here incur a lot of expenses. We have land fees, we have upload charges, we have to buy First Life software to be able to create many of these things. And that's what Builders Bargains is all about, kind of leveling the playing field for everybody and getting some exciting new product on the market.
Well, that's fantastic. And Kat, if somebody wants to, as a new builder, take advantage of that, what's the best way for them to get more information?
Um, Anybody can hit my profile and get some information from there in my picks. There is a tab about Builders Bargains. You can Google Builders Bargains online. You can come to Clutter for Builders and tap the Builders Bargains sign. There is a group you can join. There's over 1,000 members. It's a no chat group, so you don't have to worry about getting a whole bunch of spam. And you receive the biweekly list. It is a biweekly sale hop, 50% off items. You'll also be able to get other notices. If you go ahead and find one of those boards and hit it, you'll get notices from full perm creators about other sales and store events that they have going on.
That's awesome. Well, anybody out there, take my word for it. Anything that Kat is plugged into is pro, and they've done their homework, and it's something you want to be a part of. Kat, please tell me you will come back again and talk with us very, very soon.
You're going to have to put me in chains to keep me away. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, everybody, let's give it up for Kat, and we are going to be right back with our next guest.
Pulse Television Network. Programming you can feel.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Now, our next guest is a New York Times bestselling author with over 45 published novels. He's best known for Star Wars, Rogue Squadron, and I, Jedi. He's worked in a number of popular franchise worlds, including BattleTech and Conan. And he's also written over a dozen novels in original worlds. His newest novel is set in the world of Warcraft and will be out in April. Please give a very warm Spotlight TV welcome to Mike A. Stackpole. Mike, welcome to Spotlight TV.
Very glad to be here. It's a lot of fun.
Man, we're very glad to have you. So, being somebody who has huge admiration for anybody that can sit down and actually write without wanting to get up and run around and do other stuff, I've got to ask you, when did you really feel like I'm a writer?
It's a different point for all different writers. It's kind of funny for me. When I was in first grade, the very first piece of mail I got addressed to me personally, that wasn't a birthday card from a relative or something, was a rejection slip. I had written a poem and my mother had sent it off to a magazine, and the rejection slip came to me. So by many standards, I was a writer then. But the first time, I guess it was probably in '88 when the first of my novels came out. I'd had a bunch of game publications prior to that. But boy, when you actually have a novel that looks like a novel and sits on a shelf, that's always one of those things you dream about, and then all of a sudden there it is in your hands, and it is very cool, and that is the coolness of that does not go away.
Hey, it sounds cool just hearing you talk about it, so I know it's got to be very cool to actually experience that.
It's one of those things where you have written a book. The World of Warcraft novel is kind of unusual in that I just turned the manuscript over after the final checks last week, and it'll be out in April. Usually there's a 6 to 12-month lag time on it. So you have almost forgotten about it because you moved on to other projects. And then all of a sudden on your doorstep arrives this box of books. And you get to see it and see what it looks like. And it's actually very, very cool. Of course, there does come that point when you go, oh, my God, another box of books. What am I going to do with these? But you learn to live with that.
So are there any SL novels maybe in the near future?
Well, there aren't any SL novels in the near future. There probably are going to be novels where there are characters who certainly are conversant with Second Life. It's kind of difficult. One of the knocks on science fiction, oddly enough, is that we spend a lot of time building the world, and to write an SL novel, same with writing a World of Warcraft novel. The market, unless you're going to do a lot of heavy front loading of the text with all the details you need to know, your audience is kind of limited to who you have that already understands all of that stuff. Part of the reason to write a World of Warcraft novel is, they've got an installed user base of somewhere between 8 and 10 million people who already know what all their creatures are. And while I have to go through and describe that so somebody who doesn't know will be brought in, there's a lot of inside jokes that they understand. And it would be the same way for SL. I'm sure that would be real popular in SL. And I know of at least one murder mystery, and I've forgotten who wrote it, came out about 3 years ago, that was actually set in SL. And of course, there's been, a CSI, I think, was a CSI episode. Yeah. So that it's possible to do fiction here, and I think that if I were going to do something, it would be more with the with sort of the CSI approach in terms of having characters in First Life doing with things, but also having them deal with people and contacts through Second Life. Mainly because I think that's really, really intriguing. As you and Kat were discussing in the earlier segment, behind the avatars are real people, and yet the only thing that we know about anybody in SL is what they self-report, and that's not always verifiable. And I think we all have stories of people who have said one thing, that they were one thing, and turned out to be another.
Well, I think that it's interesting that you say that, because I don't know if you recall this huge issue that they had, where one guy was actually making a small fortune in actually guaranteeing you that your book would get a great review whether he read it or not online.
He's not one. I mean, their authors get offers from review services all the time. That for anywhere between $300 to $5,000, they will guarantee you great reviews, and that's unbelievably shady.
Wow, that's wow. Well, now, because you are just so invested in the craft of writing, can you tell us a little bit about the Third Life Books reading group?
What we wanted to do, because we realized that people were spending a lot of time in world, and because this isn't a game, we wanted to be able to allow them to do the things that they normally like to do in First Life. And so one of those ideas was to go ahead and provide in-world reading material, in-world books, for people to snap up and be able to enjoy. It was real successful for a long time, but I think over this last several months, last year, ebook readers have totally taken that out. You can be sitting here watching and reading on your iPad, reading a book while you've got a conversation going on in Second Life. People doing multitasking like that all the time. Or if you're a World of Warcraft player, you've got Warcraft on your screen, and then you're using your iPad or something else to surf the web and find out how they actually get through the stupid scenario you're playing.
Well, now, can you please tell us about stormwolf.com before we go?
Yeah,
your
sure.
website.
.com is my website, and there you can learn a lot more about my career. There are sample chapters. There's a lot of essays about writing, a few political essays. I also have a store for selling if you want to get books, and especially a lot of how to write material. And I think this is another big thing about SL, which is real interesting, just watching universities move online, whether in SL or just teaching a lot of classes online. I'm going to be doing a lot of that with Arizona State University. And again, ebooks are making that all very possible.
Wow, that's very cool, man. As you're sharing this and as Kat is sharing some of these things, I think the media, the Second Life media really has a fantastic opportunity to get this information out to people, because I don't think as many of us know that this is all available as should know that.
I think the great thing about SL is that it is already a community of people who are interested in relating to other individuals in many ways, the same way Facebook is a community, or Twitter, or Goodreads. And everybody here is perforce reading most of these conversations, if they're not always having their conversations in voice. So we know they read, and they're going to be interested in the sort of things, because people also do role playing. So this is a very fertile ground that writers ought to be exploring as a way to, one of the things that we do is I have weekly chats for writers and readers to come in and ask questions and find out about, what's going on in the in the world, both of professional writing, and then the in any of the fiction, if they got any questions about that. So this is a community that writers ought to be using, and then the community itself really ought to be embracing writers and dragging creative people in to just enrich the world.
Well, I think that is, I am just incredibly excited about everything that you guys are doing individually, that you're doing corporately, because it just takes this experience and makes it so much deeper than just coming in and being a club or two or going shopping. As enjoyable as those things are, it makes me very excited that we have so much more to offer in addition to that, and that folks like you, Kat, and others are really just doing an amazing job of making this experience more immersive, much more expansive. And I hope you'll come back, Mike, and talk with us again super soon, where we have more time to get into the many, many things you're plugged into.
Whenever you have an opportunity, I would be glad to come back.
That is awesome. Everybody, please give it up for Mike Stackpole. Mike is going to definitely be back with us again. And small pause for the calls, and when we come back, we'll be back with Wolfie and his dynamic song stylings. Back after these messages. Welcome back, everybody. To say that we've had a just fact-filled, fun-filled show with some exciting guests would be an understatement. And hey, the way we like to do things here is we like to just keep it moving. And we are excited about our next guest. Now, he's been singing since the tender age of 8 years old. He's a qualified singer through the Royal Schools of Music in London. And some of his many accomplishments include awards for Gibraltar Young Musician of the Year, vocalist category, Professional Entertainer of the Year in Costa del Sol, Spain, and the Male Best Band of the Year and the Male Best Frontman of the Year in Midlands, England, 2003 and 2004. Could we please have a very warm spotlight welcome for our guest, Wolfie Moonshadow. Wolfie, welcome to Spotlight TV.
Thank you very much.
Well, one of the first things, because I actually, like to mess around with a little bit of music myself. I think one of the first things we always want to know when somebody does this is, what were some of your inspirations that took you down this path?
Well, I think my biggest inspiration, actually, I have been singing for such a long time. I think that my biggest inspiration was Freddie Mercury.
Wow. Very cool.
The truth is, when it comes to an incredible band like what Queen has been for the UK, this is a band that you just don't forget. And if you're going to be styling yourself to an incredible performer, that was definitely Freddie Mercury.
Absolutely. Now I've got to ask you, since you mentioned Freddie as an influence, what did you think of Adam Lambert stepping into Freddie's shoes for that sort of brief period of time?
I think it's absolutely fantastic. To be honest, Adam Lambert has got an incredible voice. Oh my God, if I could actually hit those kind of notes, he's just an incredible artist.
Yeah.
I was very, very surprised that he didn't win. He should have won.
Yeah, I agree. Great singer. Now, how did those years of First Life performing and accomplishments translate into you doing that here in SL?
Well, I've been performing in bands for near enough, I'd say probably around 20 years. Obviously starting here from where I'm actually speaking from, which is in Gibraltar. And then obviously sort of like progressing out from Gibraltar into Spain, then going obviously to the United Kingdom, and also working the circuit there. But that's all been progressive since I started. Most of the stuff that I did at the beginning when I first got, into music was specifically with my first solo performance when I was 8.
How did that process translate into you doing it in SL?
Well, that was it, you see. I've been doing it for such a long time. You get to a point where you settle down. And then, lugging around musical equipment from place doesn't seem to be very, very appealing. But the truth is, I was approached by somebody that I had not even met before. I put some music on the internet, basically. This person just contacted me. She said, basically, have you ever considered about performing on the internet? I thought, I'm already doing that. He says, well, no. This is a whole different ball game. You're actually going to be doing shows. And I'm like, okay, now that sounds interesting. So, I started off doing this at home. And as things progressed, and I've been here now for the last 2.5 years now. And as things progressed, I've moved on to doing this in a studio, which is where I am at the moment. And I perform during the twilight hours.
Okay. Now, let me ask you this. What are some of the challenges that you see the performances in SL needing to make it more industry standard? Because one of the things that we deal with First Life labels and corporate brands and things like that, we've really started to pitch the viability of SL as the Facebook of the future, a more immersive social networking platform. And one of the things that it seems becomes the challenge for them is that they come in with an expectation that doesn't take into account some of the second life allowances that we make when somebody's hand passes through their chest. Or, you know, some of these things happen that we go, well, that's just second life. My question is, what do you think some of the things happen to be that need to be improved so that second life performing and music is more up to commercial standards where people don't have to necessarily give those allowances? They can judge it just like you would anything else.
To tell you the truth, you know, what I've seen since I've been here is in that we already have quite an established music. What's the word? I'm trying to think of the word. We've already got a music industry within this world.
Okay.
Okay, that's the way that I see it. I feel that obviously there's always going to be room for improvement. But I believe that the venue owners and the people that are, you know, supporting the live music scene, you know, they are the ones that actually keep us going the way that we do. So, you know, I don't see, I can see that there's going to be a progression. And the reason why I say this is because I brought a good friend of mine. His name is Nigel Palmer, and he's also another performer here in SL. But he's just won an incredible award thanks to him being able to put his music through Second Life. Mm-hmm. He's won an award that's basically going to give him a chance to actually have a real life recording contract.
Okay.
So, you know, there are so many things, there are so many possibilities that this world has, that I think we've already got something quite nicely well established.
Okay.
And it's just room to work on.
That sounds good. Well, now, Wolfie, will you, after the break, come back and do some music for us, please?
Oh, yeah, I would absolutely love to.
Well, then, hey, that is my cue to say, guys, strap yourselves in because we'll be back with some music from Wolfie Moonshadow after
this. Expect the exceptional. Studios.
All right, everybody, welcome back. This is the moment that many of you have been waiting for. Doing Running with the Night. Wolfie Moonshadow, take it away.
Heart of the city street was
you and me on the town. Oh, we let it all hang out. The fire was in us, we were burned. We were gonna go all the way, and we never had a town. We were running with the night, playing in the shadows, just to wait down till the morning light. Oh, we were so in love, you and me, on the boulevard, wild and free, giving all we got, we laid it down, taking every shot, we took the tail. We were running with the night, playing in the shadows, just you and I. Girl, it was so right. Girl, it was so right. So right. Oh, yeah, yeah. Running with the night.
Kat, Mike, and Wolfie, you guys have made it really hard for us to have another show this good. Everybody, we want to thank you for coming out. I want to thank my guests, Kat, Mike, and Wolfie, for just kicking this new year off in grand fashion. Thank you all for being here with us tonight. And thank the Spotlight team and all of you. And please remember, if it's worthy of being in the spotlight, it's going to be right here on Spotlight TV. Good night, everybody.
Goodbye. Bye. Bye bye. Goodbye. Bye. Bye bye. Bye. Goodbye. Bye bye. Goodbye. Bye. Bye bye.